Hey.
Today on Metal Rules, we're speaking with legendary metal drummer Nigel Glockler of Saxon fame to talk about the debut album, 6 by 6 and his band. Nigel, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I really appreciate it. It's an honor.
Thank you for asking me. Great, great.
I've seen you guys so many times over the years, and I've always spoken with Biff for releases. So when I saw this come along, I said, I have to talk to him. I have to talk to Nigel. Great. So tell me a little about the band. Now, is this a solo band? Is it a project band? Is it a real band? Tell me a little bit about that.
No, I mean, it's definitely not a one-off project or solo thing at all. No, I mean, what happened was Robert Berry. I mean, I've known Robert because we were in GTR together with Steve Howe.
Right.
And so we've sort of, known each other all that time. We lost contact for a few years, but then he came to, I invited him to a show in San Jose, I think it was, probably 15, 20 years ago, something like that, to a Saxon gig. And we came along as if we'd never sort of lost touch and everything. So, and we've kept in touch since then. And then suddenly out of the blue last year, an email arrived from him saying, yeah, I've started this band with Ian in Crichton and we need a drummer and you're the man.
Wow.
You're the guy, so get over here now to record.
I really enjoyed the CD. It was very different than what I was possibly expecting before I listened to it. It's history with Saxon. It's smoother, it's more melodic, and it has prog undertones. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. There's a few little quirky bits in there which have made me sort of perk my ears up a bit, playing wise and everything. But no, it's great. I definitely agree with how, I don't want us to be sort of labeled under anything like progressive or, prog metal or anything like that. We're not, but there's definitely progressive undertones in there, as you say. Yeah, definitely correct. Yeah,
I really liked it. Is this something you've always been a fan of outside of Saxon, or even what you enjoy doing?
Oh no, I mean, I've always been like I've never sort of been what you call a metal drummer from the off, if you know. I was one of my early influences, I guess, was Bill Ward, rather than Bonham, because Bill was a bit more jazzy. And then I started listening to a lot of progressive stuff. I was listening to a lot of fusion, for instance, people like Billy Cobham and Lenny White and that sort of stuff, Larry Coryell stuff and Chick Corea. So that's really where my influences come from, so it's been quite nice to branch out and maybe do a bit of that,
Yeah. I have some questions about that a little bit later, but tell me about the name of the band. How did you come up with 6 by 6?
Well, apparently it's the length of 6'6", apparently is the length of human DNA, from what I've been told. I don't know. That's all over my head. But then we just figure, well, 6 hands, 6 eyes. There's 3 of us, so
it works.
Yeah,
it's the power of 3. How do you like being in the trio?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It looks like fun. I would imagine 3 guys coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Ian a long time because we've sort of crossed paths a lot with Saga when we've toured in Germany with Saxon and stuff. So.
You mentioned earlier about the writing of the CD. You get a phone call, you say, come in, we need you to play the drums. So it has a very organic sound to it. Was you guys all in the same room recording and writing this? Or was it all written before you got there? Tell me a little about that.
What happened was, Robert was at a bit of a loose end after Keith Emerson passed. And he was really looking for something else to do, and his manager suggested, finding a great guitarist and stuff, and he suggested Ian Crichton. And so they were swapping bits and bobs. I mean, those two have written the whole of the first album.
Okay.
And they were swapping bits and bobs, and Robert's a great drummer in his own right as well. So, but they were writing and recording remotely, and then Robert said, well, come over to me. So I went over to his studio in Campbell, which is just south of San Jose. South of it. Was next to it anyway. And I put the drums on. I mean, he'd put the basic stuff down.
Right.
they knew how the songs were coming together. And then sort of, so I took that as a template, and then, you know, he said, no, put your own thing on it as well. So that's how it happened.
No, that's
So we
great.
haven't actually all recorded together yet.
Okay. It does have an organic feel to it. So I like that. They did a really, whoever produced it did a tremendous job producing it.
Yeah, I mean, Robert did all the recording and everything. I mean, he was great, you know, and we were sort of zooming with Ian during the process. See, what do you think of this? Should I try this? And, you know, so that's how it all came together. So in a way, although we weren't in the same room, we were, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yes, I get it. How does spontaneity play when it comes to recording in these type of situations? And you're given kind of, you have a guideline, but you're given some freedom. Tell me a little about spontaneity.
No, it's not. I mean, obviously, because I mean, every drummer's different, you know. And Robert just said, you know, just play what you feel. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then as I said, you know, as we were going along, I was just running it by the two guys.
Yeah.
The other guys see what they think. They've got great. Yeah, more of that. Do that. You know, bang, bang, bang. I was quite free reign.
Yeah.
You know, great, because we were just swapping ideas together all the time. What do you think? Would this work? Would that work?
Right. Now, tell me a little about the difference of drumming in Saxon and the difference in drumming with this. Like you said, you're more of a, you know, jazz influenced drummer, but Saxon is just very powerful nonstop. And this was very melodic and smooth. So tell me a bit about the approaches. I'm a guitar player, not a drummer.
Oh, right. Okay. It's just, as I always say, I think, you know, whatever the form of music is, from a drummer's point of view, I think the groove is the most important thing.
Right.
If it grooves right, you know, that carries a song for a start. I mean, look at AC/DC.
Yeah.
You know, to me, Phil Rudd is probably one of the best exponents of groove there is, because as soon as he starts playing, that's when your foot goes. Sure. It's not the guitar riff, it's his backbeat, bang, you know. Sure. And I think same in any form of music, you know. So that's sort of how it starts. I mean, the Saxon thing, yeah, is a lot more full on, whereas this sort of thing, there's a bit more light and shade in it.
Yeah.
But hey, I like playing anything. I just love playing, you know, whatever the form is, you know, if I can do it, I love it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think you did a tremendous job on it.
Thank you.
My favorite track is Battle of a Lifetime. Has a very Peter Gabriel feel to it. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Robert's done some great stuff. He's lyrics and melodies he comes up with, I just think are stunning.
Yeah. Also very cinematographic, you know, cinematographic. You know, you almost coming up with pictures in your mind as it's playing.
Yeah,
so it's
definitely.
Cool.
Lyrics are pretty deep in places.
Yes.
You know, even I'm sort of thinking, whoa, where are we going with this? You know? He's great. It's brilliant, you know.
Yeah, right. He's a talented vocalist, a real gift to the band. You know, he carries the vocal history while helping evolve, you know, with the album. So he was just really such enjoyable to listen to and so smooth. What a smooth voice on him, you know.
Yeah. And he you know, some of the late, I'm trying to think was what the last track we did was. Sorry, it was just a while ago that we did it, and my head's full because we've been doing a lot of Saxon like festivals at the moment. But
yeah,
I mean, the track we recorded, I mean, his vocal, I was like going, God, how much high? Where's he going with the melody of this? And suddenly hits this high note, and I'm like, whoa, you know. No, it's great.
Yeah, he did a tremendous job.
Yeah.
You know, the album cover's funny. I like the album cover. Which one are you in the car?
I knew you were going to say. No, we've sort of got to get a bit past this, because actually we were talking about which one's which in this thing. It's none of us. But no, it was just great. This guy Rob, who looks after our sort of you know, the sort of websites and all that kinds of stuff, he put the cover together.
Yeah.
You know, he found that picture of that, you know, the old motorcyclist thing, and he put that, and I saw that picture and I said, that's got to be the cover. That's just got, because it's so different.
Yeah.
And it's such, I mean, that would make a great poster, that picture.
Oh yeah.
The way he's put it all together, it'd be a fantastic poster, you know. And I don't know, you know, our one rule was no spaceships. You know, because one kind of equates that with you know, prog and
Yes.
all that kind of, no, you know, so
Well, I saw the dice. There's dice up top, six.
Yeah.
You know, so I was assuming the band name had to do something with, you know, six double sixes or, you know, something
Yeah.
to that effect. Dice.
as I said, you know, 6'6" apparently, or something, is the length of human DNA. And again, there's 3 of us, so we've got 6 of everything, you know, hands, feet, whatever.
Yeah.
So a dice thing works as well as a nice bit of a logo. So
Yeah. I have some Saxon questions for you also, if that's okay.
sure.
So you were not on Denim and Leather. How did it evolve that you didn't record it, but then you kind of came into the band later on? Tell me a little about that history.
Yeah, what happened? I mean, I was in sort of a sort of British new wavy type band, I suppose, called Toya. I mean, we were really successful at that time in '81, and I suppose you can sort of, the nearest sort of thing musically I can put us to is maybe Susie and the Banshees.
Wow.
That type of thing. But we were having like top 5 hits and stuff, and the manager of Saxon I'd been in a band with. He was the bass player, and funnily enough, our keyboard player was Hans Zimmer.
Oh, wow.
So he knew me. He rang me up one day and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm not doing anything at the moment." But he said, "Yeah, I know, you know what a band I'm in, you know." So that was it. Yeah, but what are you doing now? Because Pete Gill had hurt his hand or whatever.
Mhm.
And this was Sunday, and they were starting a big tour on Wednesday,
Wow.
which I'd bought tickets for because it was in my hometown.
Awesome.
So they said, you know, would you, because I used to do a lot of sessions too, so you have to learn quick for sessions. They said, would you do it? So I went, you know, cut a long story short, yeah, I learned the set in a couple of days and the first gig was my hometown.
Oh, awesome.
I
Did
said
you get a refund on the ticket?
No, never. To the friends of mine that I was going with, I said, you better sort of, I'll see you there, I'm playing. And they went, what? Because I was going to go gig anyway, you know, so, but, and that's that. And in the end, they asked me to join them. So I did, you know.
Yeah, that's a great story. What'd you think of the first album? You must have loved the first album, huh?
What, the Saxon ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't buy the very first one, but I got Wheels of Steel and Strong Arm and Denim.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew, you know, vaguely a lot of the songs, and then suddenly having to play them.
Yeah. Denim and Leather was my introduction to Saxon. And then I kind of, it was a little bit late in the game. And then I went backwards. So I explored the back catalog from there. But my all-time favorite Saxon album is Power and the Glory.
All right.
I was in a cover band growing up in college, and we used to play like 3 or 4 songs off of that CD. We just loved it.
Which ones did you play?
Power and the Glory, Red Line, and No Surrender.
Never Surrender.
Never Surrender. Sorry, Never Surrender.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the 3 we played.
Yeah,
I love Power and the Glory.
That was on Denim. Never Surrender.
Surrender. I got to go look at the album. I know definitely Red Line and Power and the Glory. So I got to go back and look at the other one.
The Eagle Has Landed. This Town Rocks.
This Town Rocks. We did This Town Rocks.
There you go.
Oh yeah. At the beginning.
Yeah.
Because our drummer loved it. You know, he was like, "All right, let me get out there and do that in the beginning." So yes, it was This Town. Yeah, This Town Knows How to Rock. It's great. It's awesome. Tell me about, you know, I go to concerts. I've seen you guys so many times over the years, and I see a lot of kids in the audience, and they all have the Saxon patches. Now I'm talking, you know, teenagers are really picking up on this stuff. Are you seeing this too at your concerts all over the world?
Oh yeah, definitely, all the time. I mean, at the front row of festivals everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, constantly evolving this audience thing. You know, maybe it's like because they listen to their dad's album, got into it. But yeah, we're definitely having that. It's hilarious because I mean they're all singing the words. They probably know them better than we do.
Yeah, and some of these albums are like, you know, double their age, so it's kind of funny from that perspective, you know. Yeah. I do a lot of photography. I've photographed you guys in the past, and you know, I'll be talking to the kids, and they're so into you. And I think the thing that attracted me to you guys when I was younger was the simplicity. And I'm not saying anything disrespectful. It's just groove and riff. And I love that. It's not overcomplicated. And as a young musician, I was able to learn how to play the songs. And that's how I cut my teeth on your albums, you know?
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think they're, you know, from when I talk to kids, it's the same thing. So
I'm hoping some of them will come over to the 6x6 side, you know. So
yeah,
we'll
maybe
see.
we're gonna get them over. No problem from there. You know, and what I love about those old albums is they have a certain warmth in the recording. You know, the quality. It's just a guy in his amp, a bass player, and drums, and it's so nice and it's so awesome from that perspective.
Yeah,
Do you like that approach? That very simplistic approach?
I mean, I like, you know, anything. I just love playing, you know, get off on playing, whatever it is, you know. But yeah, sometimes there is that simplistic, as you say, the approach. But how I actually prefer recording, if that's what you're sort of getting into, when I record, actually, I like to go in and do the drums on my own, because I tend to always like to use a click track, just so the groove is right, you know. So my favorite way of doing it is, you know, everyone's there, so whichever guitarist or whatever plays is more comfortable with the particular riff we're just about to record, I'll go in with one guitarist, the bass player, and me, and maybe, you know, guide vocals, do the track. I mean, luckily in some cases I've been able to do it in the first take, which is like great. But then once it's done, they can go, because I've got them in my cans now, because they've been recorded. So then I replace what I've done, because I always found there was this thing when you were all going in together. It was like, I think for me, probably the first four or five takes up until the fourth or fifth take is my best go at it, you know, because but after that, for instance, I could be doing a great first or second take and someone else screws up, so you have to stop.
Yeah, I get it.
You're coming down the mics, so then you have to stop, and then you go back and do it again, and then maybe I screw up the second time or the third time, whatever. So you stop again, and in the end, it just gets in my brain, I've got to get this track done so we can move on to the next one. So you don't really go for it. You don't take chances. You just want to the end. So it's a bit safe.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm on my own, I can just go for it. And if I screw up, I just go, oh, you know, bollocks, pardon the, you know, swearing. And just go, oh, I'll do another one. But there's only me to answer to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not sort of getting the others like frustrated. So
it can be very nerve-wracking in the studio. I don't disagree with you. I've been there a couple of times doing songs, and it was everybody standing around watching you, you know. They're on the control room like this, waiting for you to screw up.
Yeah, or I'm waiting for someone else to screw up. So always that in mind, you know. Whereas if I'm in on my own, they can go off and go and have dinner or whatever, and I'm just the tracks on my own.
Awesome. You know, and Saxon is such a one of my favorite bands because they're always putting out new albums. You know, every year. You could have rested on being a nostalgia act, but you keep moving forward, and kudos to you guys for that, and you're performing. So we love that, and fans really appreciate new music all the time. Some of my, you know, my favorites albums are your newest stuff too. Sacrifice, particularly, you know. Yeah,
that's one of my favorites, actually. Sacrifice.
Yeah, I love the artwork. I loved all the pictures behind it, and I really enjoy the album. So yeah, it's a great one. Tell me about the importance of, you know, from your perspective, the importance of constantly putting out music and not staying stagnant.
Well, I think, you know, I think it's very easy for a lot of the older bands just to sit back, you know, but we enjoy the creativity of writing. I mean, we all write, you know, obviously some albums people get more on than others, and that's how it works in any band.
Right.
But we just enjoy the creativity of it. I mean, I love, you know, there's both sides. People sometimes ask me, what do you prefer, live or in the studio? Well, they're two different animals. You know, again, I like the creativity of being in the studio, but I like the buzz of playing live.
Right.
Because like getting that buzz off an audience, you know, as a high. It's just it's brilliant, you know, which you don't get in the studio, obviously.
Right.
So love the both, and we both, you know, we all enjoy writing. So, you know, so why not? And I think it's, you know, again, it's sort of, we can go out on each tour and play some songs off of whatever albums just come out. So that's keeps it fresh as well. So
Yeah, and exciting for you guys too, as performers and the fans. So yeah, absolutely. You know, everybody talks about the British new wave of heavy metal. You guys were riding the crest of that. And I always felt it was Priest, Saxon, Maiden were on the forefront, all coming in together. If you could do a big three of this British invasion, who are some of the bands that you would like to see on that?
oh God. Oh, that's a difficult. Well, I mean, Priest really were before that, to
A
be
little
quite
bit, yeah.
honest. But yeah, I mean, there were so many bands around, you know, there's oh God, I'm trying to think of now. You've put me on the spot now. I can't think of any. Oh, there was, I mean, there were so many around at the time, and a lot of them have fallen by the wayside, which is a shame. You get that with every movement anyway.
True,
You know,
true.
to be quite honest with you, I couldn't give you an answer on that one. You know, Tigers of Pantang were well up there initially.
Yes.
I bought a couple of their albums when they, you know, the early albums when they came out, and
Good
and
stuff.
things, but some of them aren't playing anymore.
Right.
So it's a hard thing.
Yeah, Tigers are still putting out albums. They're doing well. Their
Yeah,
stuff is really good. Like, very similar to Saxon, very groove oriented, very, you know, very
yeah.
simplistic riffs.
And
It's good.
Diamond Head are coming on tour with us in the fall here throughout Europe, and you know, we know that, oh, they're a great band.
I've never seen them live.
Yeah, they're great.
Any chance of coming with them over to America? And are you planning an American tour?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll have to see. Again, it's, you know, things are being planned for next year. We'll just have to see what occurs. But yeah, I mean, that could be a pretty good thing because they are a great band, you know, and we all get on great, which is important, I think.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Carl's a great drummer. You know, we have a lot of laughs together and everything. So
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for your time today. It was really an honor to speak with you. I've enjoyed your music for so long, and I can't tell you how much it means to be growing up. So thank you for all of that. And I appreciate today.
thank you, man. Thank you.
It was an
And
insightful interview.
anytime, anytime.
Thank you.
Thank. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.